am Mike Farris, co-founder of the Convention of States Project. People get confused between a constitutional convention and a convention of the states under Article 5, properly called a convention for proposing amendments. The processes and the procedures and the scope are entirely different. A constitutional convention operates outside the structures of an existing government. When we had the original Constitutional Convention, it operated on the basis of the residual sovereignty of the states, not Article 13 of the Articles of Confederation. It was done lawfully, but it was done through the states' residual sovereignty. The Convention of States Project is quite different. It operates under the rules set out specifically in Article 5, which means you can't throw it wide open. You have to follow the procedures, the process, and the limitations set out in Article 5 in the Convention of the States. So the states must petition for the convention, and in that petitioning process, the states set the subject matter for the convention. At a constitutional convention, the subject matter is rewriting the government. At a convention of states, the subject matter is whatever it is that the states said we want to talk about. In our particular case, it's limiting the power of Washington, D.C. through fiscal restraints, limiting the jurisdiction of the federal government, and imposing term limits. And so the structure, the procedure, the nature of the amendments that are lawful. Under Article 5, there are certain amendments that Article 5 says you can't consider. Taking away the equality of a state in the U.S. Senate, for example, cannot be done through a Convention of the States process. So Article 5 conventions are controlled under the Constitution. A constitutional convention is an uncontrolled process through the residual sovereignty of the states. We want to do a controlled Article 5 convention to take an out-of-control federal government and put it back under control.